Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to Earth.
Thank you. Thank you. So, is there anything you want to say before we start?
I'm a student at the University of Arizona studying anthropology, so
Right.
this should be interesting.
It should. So can you tell me, how old are you in Earth years?
I'm 21.
Alright, and I hear 21's a pretty important year.
It is.
So can you tell me about sort of like a 21-year-old rite of passage that you might celebrate?
Well, one rite of passage the 21-year-olds undergo is that they are allowed to legally drink in this country, so they can consume alcoholic beverages, which wasn't all that eventful for me because I had studied in Germany where you can drink when you're 16. So Earth does not have uniform laws about drinking alcoholic beverages.
So do you think that sort of the idea of having a rite of passage is important to your culture?
It is, actually, and as an anthropology student, we study rites of passage in a variety of different cultures, so it's not unique to our culture, but the idea of making a rite of passage out of being able to drink something in particular, that's an interesting rite of passage, in my opinion, because in most other cultures it's not something so exciting.
Very true. We don't really have anything like that where I come from, so...
Do you have alcoholic beverages?
Well, we don't really consume the same sort of foods that you do, so I'm not sure if we have...
Do you have rites of passage?
I mean, not really, though.
Oh, well, that's strange.
We have a much longer sort of like orbital period, so what you would call a year, it's not very conducive for celebrating something like that, so you just get older. But anyway.
How old are you, by the way? I forgot to ask you.
In Earth years?
Yes, in Earth years.
I am actually also 21, so that's why I gravitate toward the same group, really. I think it's interesting to study people who are about the same time in the universe as me.
How old would we be in your planet?
We don't keep very good track, but I would say maybe about 3. Strange.
That's strange.
But anyway, let me ask some more questions about you. So, this is a really broad question, but it might yield an interesting answer. So, can you tell me just a little bit about Earth?
About Earth in general?
In general, just, it doesn't have to be like the big picture, just what are some things that you particularly like about Earth, I guess, or that you think are important?
I like that it has a crust, and underneath it there's a warm molten core, and I like all the granite that we have. It's the most popular rock.
Geology?
I like the geology of Earth. It's
interesting. And how do you feel about intelligent life on the Earth?
I suppose we're intelligent enough.
I suppose we are. So, but I mean, do you think that, I can't think of how to word this. Do you think that, this is a bad question. I can't seem to think of I guess, do you think that intelligent life is destined to live here forever? Do you think you will move on somewhere to another planet, to outer space, or do you think...
I don't think I personally will move. I don't think that will happen in my lifetime.
Alright.
And I don't think I would particularly like going to space.
No.
No. But I suppose in the future it could happen. I mean, obviously you've come to our planet.
Right.
Maybe someday someone will go visit yours.
Perhaps. Perhaps they will. So I'd look forward to seeing a human on my planet. It would be pretty interesting. So can you tell me what you consider sort of like the hallmarks of intelligent life? What do you think makes it intelligent versus...
What makes it intelligent versus non-intelligent?
Versus just something like a bacteria, I suppose. Or...
I mean, that's kind of at the heart of what I study in anthropology, too.
Right.
That what separates people from everything else, and when you really look at it, we're not all that separate from other species such as chimps, bonobos, gorillas, things that we don't technically consider intelligent, but I think that they do have some level of intelligence. They have culture, they have violence, they show evidence of love and parental care, and you can look at those to different degrees in all animals and life forms. There is some degree of something, I guess. That's what makes it life. But what distinguishes intelligence, I don't know. It's more of a philosophical question than I would like to answer.
All right.
With such
That's
short
fair.
notice.
It's a pretty loaded question. Would you consider something... I guess I think the difference between what you describe is something like a... I have a bug crawling on me. Earth bugs. They're silly. Anyway.
They're sneaky.
Yes, they are. I'm not very fond of them. I've already suffered several bug bites at the hands of strange insects. But anyway. So, I guess a lot of what I think you're trying to say is that maybe the difference between what you would consider intelligent in the case of, like, would you consider maybe like an ape intelligent versus a human? So you would consider that, because some people I know, and it's such a broad thing, they would say that technology is one thing, but I don't know that that's necessarily true.
Well, actually, a lot of primates use technology too.
All right.
For example, some monkeys use sticks in order to break open things. They can smash things. They will use rocks and pick them up and move them, which in archaeology is called a manuport. When we find that evidence of humans or early hominids, early humans from, millions of years ago, we call that something. We use that as a technology. Whether it's just a rock that's been picked up, even if it hasn't been changed, the fact that it's been moved and used for something else, it's considered a type of artifact, and that shows evidence of people. And strangely, you can also see that in other life forms. So imagine that. We're not the only intelligent things out there.
Do you think curiosity is one of the things that separates you? And not so much, because obviously I don't think apes have yet developed a real interest in trying to explore life elsewhere in the universe, I suppose.
No, they haven't beat us to...
No. Although maybe they secretly have a space program and we just don't understand it.
Perhaps.
I researched that, but I didn't come up with anything, so...
Nothing on Google.
No. Google is a wonderful website. I wish we had something like that for my planet. Maybe the founders of Google could expand, make it universal.
I like it.
Film rights are universal, actually. So we don't really sell them per se legitimately, but we do pirate films from your planet. It's pretty interesting. But anyway, I digress. So, I guess I'm going to switch gears a little bit right here. What are your thoughts on, do you have a religion?
Me personally?
Yes, you personally.
Not particularly. I was raised Catholic, which is one way, but as I've grown older, I've learned that all religions are basically founded on the same principles of love and fraternity and all of these wonderful ideas, so I think that religious pluralism is a safe way to go. That all religions are equally valid, and you can't just downplay one of them because they're all somehow interrelated. They've all built off of each other. Same ideas.
Do you think religion is necessary to the sort of, legacy, maybe survival, maybe, of mankind?
Well, survival of mankind. If you look at the work of anthropologists such as Malinowski, then yes, you would say it is necessary. The idea that religion is the opiate of the masses, that was the main Marxist, ideal that's been spread out, and that kind of downplays the benefits of having religion. And religion, I think, it alleviates that unknown, and it does give you some sort of cohesion as a social unit. So I think, yes, either religion or philosophy, either one of the two is something that is necessary for the human experience on Earth. But not all people call it religion. Some people would consider it just more belief systems, cosmologies, philosophy. It's all interrelated, I think.